In our Sunrise Smart Start and breaking overnight, all lanes on the state thruway to our west are back open this morning after dozens of cars crashed in whiteout conditions between Pembroke and Batavia.
What a scene. Troopers say they're working with several agencies on the crash investigation. You can see the forecast of what we have to come, as well as what the situation is in Pembroke. Some flakes still flying, but on the roads, everything opened up around 1:15 this morning. 12 hours before that, a completely different story.
We're going to go through the traffic and the why and removing vehicles, and that'll be done with not only the Thruway Authority and the tow units that are there, but our collision reconstruction unit is flying drones and doing some mapping so they could later in the office look at possible scenarios of why something like this occurred.
There were at least 30 passenger cars. Then you had the tractor trailers, the semis involved in the pileup. One eyewitness described it as a scene out of a horror movie, a graveyard of cars, trucks, and buses.
All the damage and all the SUVs, all the cars, all the buses that I seen that got hit. I don't know. Like I said, I've never seen anything like that before in my life.
We had whiteout conditions. The thruway was not salted, so it was just a sheet of ice. Everyone was on the brakes, and I'll tell you, it's a really bad feeling trying to figure out where you're going to point your truck because you know you're going to crash.
Thankfully, in all this, troopers say no one lost their life or no one was seriously hurt for that matter, too. Your sunrise traffic here, 10 minutes to go. Current conditions elsewhere around the metros. We check our traffic map. There's nothing on 490 in and out of the Gates-Chili area. 390 north and southbound through Henrietta looking just fine. And for the thruway between the Victor exit on the east side and then back towards Henrietta, everything might be a little slower, but moving along with no issues to slow you down.
Now, a view from a different camera here. Our News 8 crew out on the roads giving you conditions this morning. Looks like flakes are not flying at the moment, but those roads are still slick, so be careful on those side streets as you commute this morning. To our headlines, and happening today, the gunman in a deadly double shooting outside a North Goodman Street bar 2 years ago is expected to be sentenced to 25 years in prison. In November, Hector Ramos Diaz admitted to killing 49-year-old Wahid Nazario and 43-year-old Frank Rosario Vasquez outside the King and Queen Cantina in February 2024. Ramos Diaz was kicked out of the bar after a fight and ambushed the victims as they left. He then fled to Puerto Rico, where he was arrested the following month. As part of the manslaughter plea deal, Ramos also faces 5 years of post-release supervision. His sentencing begins at 9:30.
We will turn now to Minneapolis after weeks of violent clashes between protesters and federal agents and the deadly shootings of 2 U.S. citizens. President Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, is promising a change there in the city.
Homan, brought on as the White House works to de-escalate tensions, said some of the 3,000 agents currently deployed could be drawn down. That's if federal authorities get expanded access to undocumented immigrants being held in state prisons and county jails. Minnesota's Department of Corrections says prisons already cooperate with ICE detainer requests, but policies at local jails vary. The Hennepin County Sheriff's Office in a statement said any real change must come through clear statewide policy direction.
More agents in the jail means less agents in the street.
I will believe it when I see it.
As the area continues to mourn the killings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy, local investigators say the state has not decided whether to file criminal charges against the officers involved.
Businesses here in Rochester and in other states around the country are taking a stand today in response to the immigration operations in Minnesota, and they will be closed for business hours this Friday. The Siren in the Sea, the locally owned bookstore in the South Wedge, is taking part in this planned national strike. The tagline for this event is "No work, no school, no shopping." Business owners say the message speaks louder than any financial losses they'll take a hit on. In the neighborhood of the arts, Kelly Scott is the co-owner of Get Caked, a bakery, along with her husband, who immigrated to the U.S. more than 2 decades ago.
I know a lot of people think maybe it won't do anything or that it's going to harm small businesses, but it's not necessarily about that. It's about so much more. We do not support the outright assaults that is happening on a lot of our individual rights in a lot of these other cities.
The protests are scheduled everywhere around the country, and there's one in Rochester at the Federal Building on State Street. That's this afternoon at 3. It is 6:53. Let's take you inside the huddle as we've heard from Joe Brady speaking to the media for the first time as the 21st head coach of the Bills. He says he knows there are very high expectations and he plans to meet them head on.
A mentality. I believe in everything about these guys right here, right? And a mentality as we go forward that it is a nameless, faceless opponent that we're going against. And they got to play us and not the other way around.
Josh Allen was also there, quite the entrance in the walking boot and crutches. He says he has nothing but respect for the man who drafted him in 2018, Sean McDermott, and nothing but confidence in Brady moving forward.
He truly loves the work. He loves football. He loves this game. He loves the players, and that's very evident in our meetings. And I think, you know, when he's in front of our defense and our special teams players, as well as our offense, people are going to understand that the love is real.
So Allen broke a bone in his foot, a 5th metatarsal during the Bills' Week 16 win over the Browns, and he kept playing the final 4 games of the season. Dealing with that, he just had recent surgery and says he should be good to go. It went just fine, and he'll be out there in the springtime for the voluntary off-season workouts.
I gave a ooh when I saw that.
Oh, I know. It was like the big thing was, this is Brady and everything, and then everyone's like, wait.
Yeah.
Get those cameras on Josh Allen.
Yeah.
See him coming through.
Right.
Yeah.
The fact that he was able to play those last few games on that busted foot is incredible.
I know. I had a stress fracture in my metatarsal, and I was in a boot for 4 months, felt like.
Oh, just brutal. Hey, we've got the snow around for you today. Cold air, obviously, 0 degrees. That's the current temperature. We get into the low teens for you this afternoon. And then through Saturday night, lingers tonight into tomorrow and tomorrow night as well. We are shoveling out along Lake Ontario. Much less in terms of snowfall further inland. 8-day forecast on your screen now. There's partly cloudy, a little bit of sun by Sunday. And hey, right now, I just looked at the camera, Canandaigua, full sunshine.
Oh, how about that?
Very nice.
9 o'clock is our podcast, Second Cup of Sunrise. We'll talk about my experience being a weatherman yesterday.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear about that.
How about the Argini Bill game? We'll talk a little bit about that coming your way.
Oh, that does it for us this morning. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, X, and on our app for news and weather. Get the Rochester First streaming app today for everything you love from News 8 On Demand, plus exclusive shows you won't see anywhere else. Search ROC and download for free on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.